Hi, my name's Holly. I'm 29 years old and I've been a carer for about 23 years for my mum, and I was also previously a carer for my granddad. So I got into the London Marathon ballot, which I don't run at all, so I've started doing the Couch to 5k and going running 3 times a week and slowly building up. So I'm on week 7 now and running for 25 minutes. Yeah, so it's good. I don't really enjoy it, I'll be honest. I don't enjoy running. But yeah, it's something to do. And I feel like if I have a challenge to kind of head towards, then it gives me something to do. So I've been a carer for a long time, since I was about 7 or 8. So I was part of the young carers and then became an adult carer. But I'm a carer for my mum who has schizophrenia. And then, so that's kind of just been ever since I was younger, been helping her with bits and pieces. And then 7 years ago, I then became a carer for my granddad as well, when my nan went into a care home and he was by himself. So then I started doing little odd jobs for him, and then he got lung cancer. So I then took over that, but he passed away in March. So I'm not a carer for him now, but I'm still a carer for my mum and helping her sort all the bits and pieces because it was her parents. So I think to kind of reach out or to talk about it, because I feel like when you talk about it, that's when you realise and go, well, I didn't realise I was a carer, because that was just stuff that I had to do for my family member. And I think unless you talk openly about it, you don't really know. And I think, again, when even if it's family members, people think, oh, well, it's my husband or my wife, that's what I should do, or it's your parent, that's what you should do. And even though I knew from a young age I was a carer, you still kind of think to yourself, oh, it's your mum, you're going to help her out if she needs X, Y, and Z. So that's not really a caring role. And I think it's only when you talk to other people that you figure out that actually, no, that is more than just being a partner or being a daughter or something like that. We were always told as children, like me and my siblings, that we were carers anyway. Like my nan and granddad also helped to care for my mum. So we were just always told, but I don't think we necessarily understood what that was. And they're the ones that linked us in with carers in Hertfordshire, with like the young carers and that support. So we went to some of the groups and things. And then as an adult, I kind of, when I needed support, so when my mum wasn't very well or if she went into hospital or anything like that, that's when I contacted and they arranged like the carers assessment, which obviously got me some support in place. And then as my granddad was caring for my nan when she was unwell and he was open to carers as well, you then find out about all the other support that's available. So I have the bereavement support at the moment following Granddad's death, which is great, it's nice to have someone impartial, and I just have a call once a month just to check in, and it's nice to speak to someone who just is listening. Because although I talk quite openly with friends and family and things like that, but I think it's nice to talk to someone that has absolutely no involvement with anything and is just kind of there for you. So that's been really helpful. I think just the next, like clearing the house and sorting all the bits and pieces, having someone to kind of talk to about it, which has been great. And then, like I say, having the group at work is a different dynamic, and I feel like that's been really supportive as well. And just, I don't know, I feel like whenever I've spoken to carers before, it's usually people that are a lot older or maybe don't work, and having that dynamic of actually still working and being a carer as well, and then managing both things and having that support group has been really helpful. Just to, everyone's in the same boat, you're managing working life and then also managing being a carer when you go home as well. So that's been really useful. I think it would be quite difficult. I think especially last year when my mum wasn't very well, Granddad got diagnosed, my nan passed away, and they got the carers assessment done for me, and from that I got some money for counselling, and like that was the best thing I've ever done in my life. Like I always thought like I wouldn't need something like that, but just again having that person to talk to and just having an open discussion. I did that for I think like 10-12 weeks or something like that, but especially at the height when everything was bad and everything was going on and there was so much to manage, having that just to go to. And realistically, if I hadn't have had the carers assessment, paying for private counselling is just extortionate, so I wouldn't have really been able to afford that myself, or even known where to start that process, or if it's something I should try or something like that, which is what came out of the carers assessment of like what would support you. It's like, oh, just having someone to talk to or just to help with making sense of everything. So I think I probably would have had a breakdown, no, like not lying, but realistically, yeah. So I started doing the carer training last year. So I did the training for the mental health nurses at the university, which is nice. And I think like sharing my experience is really good. And also when I did that, there was someone there who was like, oh, when I was younger, I had a similar experience to you, but I didn't talk about it. And she was like, it's so nice that you've come and you speak openly about it. And I think how helpful it would have been if I had spoken to my friends or got the support and recognised that I was a carer. So I feel like it's nice to get that feedback as well, that you're making a difference to someone and that it's helpful, hopefully, in like their training and moving forward and making a difference. I talk very openly about being a carer. I always have since I was a teenager. I have amazing friends that know everything, and so when I do struggle, they help as well. So I think making and talking as a carer, that's why I wanted to do the carer training, because I was like, all of my friends, but I know that there still is such a stigma around especially mental health. But being a carer, I think people have their certain views of like a carer looks like this or they do these specific things, which, you know, isn't necessarily the case. I think, you know, a lot of the times my mum is very well, and so I don't look like a carer. I might do like form filling and stuff, but when she is really, really poorly and she goes into hospital and things, that's when my role could massively increase, and I've then got to run around and coordinate all different stuff. And I think changing the view of necessarily what a carer specifically should look like or what a carer's role specifically should do, like that carers are only people that don't work and their full-time job is just caring, when actually you can work full-time and be a carer, or you can, like, I don't live with my mum, but I still go and visit her every single day, so I'm still a carer for her, because if she calls me up at 8 in the morning, I'll drive straight over and help her. So I think changing what people think a carer is really important. I called the advisors, and that's where I just said, like, what can I do? Like, what help is there for me? You know, is there groups that I can go to, or like the bereavement support when that happened? Obviously they said, you know, there's support, you know, like the bereavement group, or there's someone that can call you, like what would work best for you, and speak about kind of the different options that are available, which for me it was speaking to someone one-on-one. But I think until you call up and ask, you don't necessarily know what there is out there. Obviously you can do Google searches and stuff, but I think I find it easier just to talk to someone and be told kind of these are the options, what would you prefer? Also outside of it, I've also started doing scuba diving. Yeah, like to give that. I had a massive fear of water, so again, I just like a challenge to do something just to stress me out a little bit more. So I've actually started to enjoy it now, but definitely for about the first 5 weeks, I was absolutely terrified. So, but again, that's like late on a Thursday night just to go. And I feel like definitely when you're concentrating, you just switch off, which is really nice. I am grateful to carers in Hertfordshire, because I've used them for years and years for support in and out when I've needed it, and they've always been there for me. So even when I was a child, and then also now as an adult. So